Good afternoon and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Bailey and Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Bailey's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands. The correction and the very little motivation that we give the dog when we're working with her, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a little tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Bailey is going to come home with her very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session tomorrow. Now, she is sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Bailey heel. Now, at this point, Bailey has a job to do, and that is to maintain pace with you when you're walking. She shouldn't be dragging you down the street. She shouldn't be forging ahead or lagging behind, but she should be walking at your pace next to your left leg, and when you stop your feet, she has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So this makes walking her a pleasure, and you don't have to be on a drag when you're walking with her, and she should be able to walk with your family, your in-laws, whoever it is. She should maintain that pace. Now, the next command that we're going to demonstrate is the sit-stay. The stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. Your long sit-stay, when you're practicing at home, you're going to start out at about 30 seconds. You're going to slowly work up to 3 minutes. When Fred returns back to her, he walks all the way around her as an additional distraction, returning all the way back to where they started, and when he gets to her shoulders, he stops, and she expects to get another command. If you speed up or slow down on your walk, she should do the same. If you're a power walker, she should be right there next to you. If you walk very slowly and you're having a conversation, she should slow her roll. And when you stop, she sits. If she gets it all distracted, you see Fred give that little tug on the training collar. Stay. He leaves her in another sit-stay. He turns to the end of his leash and faces her. And this is a self-control exercise, and this is one of the things that Bailey has a problem with, is controlling herself, hence her jumping. And this time Fred is going to call her. This is your come on command. It's Bailey come, happy voice. She comes in and she goes right back to heel and back sitting, and she gets praised for being a good girl. But the job is to keep all 4 on the floor. You want to motivate her without sending her over the top. And this should be a time that you can enjoy spending with her, going over all of her commands, practicing with her at home, and we'll have some hints for you as to how to keep all 4 feet on the floor when she's distracted. Fred leaves her again in another sit-stay. When he calls her, he uses his name. He lightens his tone of voice, and she comes in. She wants to go back to heel and sit, and that's fine. Now, the next commands that we're going to be demonstrating for you are her series of down commands. And believe me, tomorrow when you see her, she's going to be so excited to see that this isn't going to look like this right away. So we want you to see what she's learned. So always have your dog seated before you attempt to put her into a down. You're going to use your left open palm straight down toward the ground and the one-word command to down and stay. Now your long down stay, when you're practicing at home, you're going to start out at a minute. You're going to work up to 5, and she's an adult, so she should be able to handle that. So start out where you see she comfortably holds it right in your living room and go from there. When Fred returns back to her, again, he walks all the way around her as an additional distraction, returning back to her shoulders, and he stops, and then she expects to get another command. And he'll quickly heel her around to face the camera again, and we'll do that down from a heel position one more time. Nice sit. Always have her seated first, down, stay. So all of these exercises, as you can see, are about focus and self-control. She's a great girl and she's done a great job here. This time Fred will call her out of that down stay. And now she sat right in front of him, which is also correct. And the very last exercise that we're going to be demonstrating for you is your down from a distance. And this is a little bit harder exercise because you're not right next to her. Fred leaves her in a sit stay. He turns to face her. He's going to use his right hand to give the command. Now he doesn't want her to come, and she misread that and she wasn't paying attention. But all he did was say no and put her back into a down. She just, when a dog comes to you, instead of downing from a distance, they weren't listening. They weren't paying attention. And she assumed he was going to call her. Now we have demonstrated for you all of Bailey's formal on-leash obedience commands. She is a great dog, and we will be here to help you upon graduation. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow, and we know Bailey's looking forward to going home. Thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.